Alan. I'm doing three things at once here, and that's a bit of danger.
Right on. Morning, Alan.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
Hello,
Okay.
Alan.
Are you all well?
Oh,
good.
well, yeah.
Good.
So we are actually now live, guys. And at this point, there's no ladies joined us. Hopefully they'll join us later. And the purpose of tonight's is to have a bit of fun, right? Let's not make it too darn serious. But the objective is for you to share with each other and me and the audience who watches this. Because it's been a pretty tough 2020 in many ways, right? So what are some of the things that you may be grateful for in your business, despite the fact it's been a pretty rough year? That's what I'm looking for you to share with me, all right? So bear with me, Dick. And I'm going to do it in the order that you joined. And that means that, Patrick, you were first cab off the rank, mate, all right? And for those, by the way, who don't know too much about Patrick, and he can sort of explain himself, but, oh, hang on. Mitali's just joining. Happy to have mind me saying this, Pat. Pat has got an incredible story, which I don't need to share tonight, but we'll do that on another occasion. Hi, Mitali, good to see you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Mitali.
But Pat is, I mean, you've all got great stories, to be quite frank, but Pat in particular is extraordinary in terms of his sea-going experiences. And so I would encourage you to reach out and talk to Pat in your own way to find out about some of his stories, because they'll blow you out of the water. They are unbelievable. So, I mean, I call him captain, right? Because he's the captain of a tugboat. So, Joy, nice to see you.
Hello, Peter, everybody.
Joy.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
And thanks to have you join us, Joy, because I know this is not the most comfortable thing for you to do. So you're outside your comfort zone, and I'm proud of you, okay? So, Pat, your first
Peter.
cab off the rank while we wait for others to join. There's a few others joining, I know that anyway. So tell me, in this awful darn year of 2020, right, for many people and you, right? Because I don't know whether you were, but he's sitting there with a broken foot, right? But Pat, what are you grateful for, mate?
What I'm grateful for, waking up this morning, enjoying this great crew here with you. Now, when I wake up every morning, I'm always grateful because I put my feet. Oh, anyway, hey, guys, my name is Pat Kern. I live here in Beckenham, Washington. Sorry for that. And yeah, I wake up every morning, take that big, deep breath of air, put my feet on the ground, look up. Hell, I'm still here. I'm still on God's green earth. No matter what kind of bullshit comes my way, I'm still here.
Yeah, good. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Gary. Go.
Good morning, Peter. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And this year, it's been actually this epidemic is here, but I don't really concern myself with it because I've been for at least 3 months very, very isolated. What I mean by very isolated, I flew down to Orlando, Florida with my bicycle and rode across the United States here and there, meeting people. And each time I walked into a place, I always had my mask on and always had sanitation to clean my bike off. And I met a lot of cool people. And during that adventure, my right ankle kind of started to give out. So I got a brand new ankle in this year. So I'm kind of grateful because it's all be healed up for my next adventure. When it comes May 31st, June 1st, I'll be taking off again.
Can you imagine, everybody, not just people here with me now, but people who are watching this replay? This guy is talking, literally was on a bloody push bike, right? For thousands of kilometers through deserts and goodness knows what, right? And he's got a million stories to tell about that. There's no doubt about that. So that obviously must be one thing you're extremely grateful for, Pat. You got home safe, right?
Yeah.
Because it was dodgy at times there. I mean,
There was a few times on Highway 6. I forgot what state it was in Highway 78, I think it was 78 of 85 miles of nothing, not a friggin' thing. Just 100-degree weather and me and my bike and my water. And a couple of Scorpios, spiders I met on the way.
right.
And
Anything else you want to be grateful for?
just I'm living my family. I'm grateful for seeing my son, my daughter. My son comes over and picks me up, and we go to the gym. And I managed to get a workout in, sitting there. I'm just grateful of being alive.
Good.
Oh,
Thank you,
and the other thing, I'm very grateful of the company I'm with, the products I've been using all for the last few years. They're great products. I take CBD, and that's what's keeping me healed. I ain't gonna lie to you. I put it on I had a brand new shoulder put in a year ago. I had my bicep repaired about a year ago. And the CBD is kept me moving, and people love the product. I'm happy for that.
The thing I admire about you most, Captain Kern, is the fact that you've always got a ready smile. You've always got an inspirational story, even if you're having one hell of a day. And that to me is pretty darn special.
Thank you, sir.
Those of you who haven't had the chance, go and check out his Facebook posts. And especially if you get a chance, join him on his Facebook lives, because he waxes a bit lyrical with his wisdom, okay? And you never know where Pat's going when he comes up there. I'm not sure whether he does, but I always enjoy him. So I'm an admirer of his, because as a man, he's been to hell and back, and he's not prepared to lie down, let the world walk all over him. And I think that's a message for all of us. So thanks, Pat. You're one heck of a man.
Thanks, Pete.
Fred, you were second to join us. We're doing an order of joining. And just so you know, Fred was second, then John, then Alan, then Yvonne, and then Gary, and then Mitali. Okay? I think I got that. If I had an order there, I'm really sorry. But I'll make sure. But also know that Gary has mentioned to me he's got to be gone within 30 minutes. Is that correct, Gary?
Yeah, I have to head off by 1:45. I've got an appointment at 2:00 that I have to prepare for. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got to be prepared now. All right. I'll make sure you get in there for sure. Promise. Fred, good morning in Australia.
Yeah, it is now. It's just clicked over midnight, so it is early morning in Australia. Yeah.
So what are you grateful for, my man?
Look, I think just things in general are pretty grateful for the way things are working out, but also because of the isolation, like we were in lockdown for a fair few months, and because of that, I was online quite a lot and met a lot of new friends. So, and virtual friends, but online and communicating with them. So there's a lot in that area that I'm grateful for. The business is hopefully now starting to pick up because we've just come out of lockdown. We've had no new cases here for 28 days. So we've had a real good record. So things are coming out of it. So it's all looking good. So all of that I'm really grateful for.
Anything else from a business perspective that you're grateful for?
Well, business probably a bit the same, because I've met some new people and got some new ideas and just moving, getting some different direction, basically, which I wouldn't have looked at if COVID hadn't hit.
Right. I'm glad you said that, Fred, because what I'm getting at is that COVID has had a devastating effect on a lot of people, on a lot of economies, etc. But also, there's been opportunities for people in this area. I don't know whether you're aware of it, but there's one industry that's absolutely boomed in this COVID pandemic era, right? Boom more than it's ever boomed in his life before. And that's network marketing. Okay, it's become a huge boom market for people who have started to rethink the idea of maybe working from home. Now, I'm not trying to promote anything. I mean, I'm not involved with network marketing, but I do believe, to be quite frank, as a business platform, it's probably one of the best that's ever been invented. The only problem with network marketing is the network marketers who keep mucking it up all the time, right? The business platform is great if they work it the right way. So
Yep,
anyway.
no, agree with you, Pete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else, Fred, you'd like to add?
No, that's pretty much it. It's been, it's been a weird year, but we're still here. And next year is, obviously, well, if it's this bad, what way can it go? It can only go up. So that's one thing to be grateful for as well.
Right. And you're confident about 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. Even the next month, I think it's going to be pretty good.
Okay, because next month, by the way, in one of our sessions together, I'd like you to share with me where you're going in the year 2021. Okay, if you don't mind that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, Fred. Alan, I'll go to you.
Morning, everybody.
Manager.
Sorry, good thing you reminded me. Hi, everyone. I came away from Macedonia, where I was working in March, which was the best thing I did, because I came back to the UK for a friend's birthday party, and he had the birthday party, and I tried to go back to Macedonia and then couldn't because of all this pandemic. So it ended up I was stuck in the UK, which was not a bad thing, because otherwise I could have been stuck in Macedonia, where the government closed the borders for about 4 months. And I actually got back there on the day they opened the borders, and I picked up my things, my possessions from there. As it happened, I lost a few possessions, but it wasn't a big issue. So I was pleased to have a good place to stay during the worst of the pandemic, and also that I didn't get ill, because if I'd been stuck in Northern Macedonia, there was a hot spot of COVID in the town where I was working. So things worked out well. I mean, there are other negative aspects about payment and the stuff I lost, but all in all, I'm grateful for my health and the fact that it was only a few things I lost, not could have been a lot worse. So that's my story.
Can I ask you one more? From a business perspective, what did you learn? What was the one thing you learned from a business perspective that you're grateful for in the year 2020?
From a business perspective, it's
without warning.
That you need to be flexible. I won't go into too much detail, but on that job there were a lot of problems, and the best thing I could have done was to do what I did, which was to pull out of it, because there was a lot of fraud going on there, which is a disaster for the Northern Macedonian taxpayer. But anyway, I dealt with all that, and I got out of it without too much effect. So that was a good thing from a business perspective, to keep your integrity, not to get mired in that sort of thing.
Good point. Good point. Thank you, Alan. And by the way, unlike all of us, Alan doesn't deal with small business operators like the majority of us do, right? I mean, he deals with multi-million and billion-dollar corporations who surprisingly have just the same amount of fraud as small businesses do, right? And only on a bigger scale. Is that correct?
Sure.
And some of the stories he probably can't share with you, but I've been privileged to hear a few of them, and I think, my God, hard to believe. Alan, thank you very much indeed for sharing. And I wish I had your project management skills, to be quite frank, but I'm an administration nightmare. Okay, John Allen, my sincere apologies. John, you were the next cab off the rank and I missed it. I apologise in the chat to you.
That's the biggest problem we ever have, Peter. We're going to be real lucky. Good morning, everyone. My name is John Allen. The biggest things I'm grateful for, is being alive. Some of you have heard my story and I won't go into it again, but when you have a near-death experience, you get up every day and you're on the right side of the grass, every day is a great day. And so that part has been very grateful for me for every day for since that happened. But business-wise, I've had a lot of, had some ups and downs this year and got to meet a lot of great people. Peter was one of them. And one of the things that I've been learning is I need to be more aggressive in not, I guess, in being a better leader and what have you. So that's the one thing that I'm grateful for. And, you know, again, it's from learning how to ask better questions. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been guilty of it, but the person asking the questions is the one in charge. And for some times I was letting the other person take control. So I'm very grateful for learning that lesson, getting through my thick skull that, you know, the person asking the questions is the one in charge. And I look at 2021 as being 13 months long because I get to throw December in on my next year's goals. So that's it for me.
John, thank you. Can I ask you a question? Anyone else, if anyone else wants to ask each other questions, please, by all means, go ahead. Don't sit back and do nothing. But I've got a question for you. If you don't mind me sharing something you actually just alluded to briefly, the fact that you had an aneurysm, right?
Yep.
How long ago was that?
It'll be 20 years on December the 4th.
And does it still impact on you today?
It does. I've had short-term memory loss and other areas. So sometimes you can say something to me and it goes right over the head. It doesn't even register. And other times, you know, it works, but, you know, there's obviously some challenges I'm still working on overcoming. But, you know, life is good. I'm still here.
All right. The reason I asked you that question is because obviously you're grateful for the fact that you're still here because of a near-death experience, right?
Yep.
But also the ongoing impact from that. I mean, an aneurysm is a pretty serious state of affairs, right? And the impact of that on you and the fact that you can still continue to run a successful business, to me, that is something that you must be grateful for. I mean, I'm proud of you for doing it, but you must be grateful for it as well, right?
Oh, like I said, every day is a blessing. And I don't care what happens in your day, we're still alive. You got a choice. You can either react or respond.
Yeah.
So many people today react to what's happened to them. When you respond, you know, you're in control. And that's something that I'd always done even before the aneurysm, but it became more important to me after the aneurysm. The other thing is I need to make a lot of notes because if I don't make a lot of notes, it's gone. So you'll hear me say the shortest pencil is better than the longest memory. And for a lot of reasons, more so in my case, that's very true.
Yeah, thank you, John. I'm proud of you because you continue to overcome some very difficult, challenging health issues, right? And to me, I am proud of you, and I can see that you're grateful to be able to open your eyes in the morning, etc. Right? I'm a bit the same, by the way. Don't worry about that. Right? But by the same token, I'm proud of you for what you do. So thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Yvonne, good morning to you.
Good morning, Peter. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Morning, Peter. I'm Yvonne R Jones, and Peter asked us to share what we're most grateful for in our business this morning. Well, first, John, I want to acknowledge you because I won't say I understand how you felt, but I've experienced a couple of those things too. Well, I had a near-death experience 16 years ago when they couldn't even get my blood pressure reading. So I can empathize. That's all I can do. I can only put myself in your position and like you to be very grateful for every day that we are standing above the daisies, right?
How true?
Yes, it has been a challenging year for all of us. However, there are many things to be grateful for that I am grateful for. And in my life and in my business, one of the main things that I'm grateful for, apart from my life, is that we made a decision to downsize, my husband and I, because we're empty nesters. And we did it at the right time. Our house was sold on the market for about 6 weeks, and we closed on the 18th of March, just about the time, and we moved the same day, just about the time when things started shutting down. So we moved to a brand new area. That has brought us challenges because I'm the kind of person who normally go out to networking events, and I am attending places where my ideal clients are. That hasn't happened, but nonetheless, as a relationship marketing strategist, but more so the early part of the year, focusing on as a personal business coach, which means I'm certified in life and business coaching, I had the opportunity of supporting women. My ideal clients is a woman. My ideal client is a woman 50 and wiser, who is a business owner, who has been in business at least 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And I had the opportunity the first half of the year to support women through changes that they were going through and get great testimonials. The results that they got, that's what makes me happy. Those results make me happy as a person, as a coach, knowing that I'm bringing value to others. And I also had the opportunity during this time to really go back to where my passion is. I love helping women and men, but at the same time, there's something that has been throughout my life. Peter is very familiar with it, and if you have all been on these calls a few times, you know I'm passionate about the whole customer relationship and bringing people from client attraction to client retention. So now I have, during this time, it gave me a perspective that, you know what, yes, you love doing everything else, but this is where your passion is. So you need to go back to this and spend time on what you really love, what brings you joy, what lights you up. So that's one of the benefits. And one of the things that I particularly enjoyed about this time, where I got some more time to spend at home and spend on reflection. So all in all, I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful for right now, one of my daughters and son-in-law here. And it's a wonderful thing. We're maintaining our little social distancing, which is a little hard, but we're doing it. And I love what I do. I love supporting others. I love helping them to get the results that they desire. And I'm grateful for Peter for providing this space for us.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you very much indeed. And I also appreciate you people. Just 1 minute. Just get someone else to enter. Anyone got any questions for Yvonne, by the way?
Yvonne, why do you pick people that have been in business 2 to 3 years and not newbies?
I work with newbies, but my people of choice, my ideal, because we need to have an ideal. Doesn't mean we won't work with everybody else, but we have an ideal. It's 2 to 3 years, John. And the main reason for that is, even before I became a certified coach, I've been mentoring for years. And what I found was that I work better with people who already have a concept, who have already embraced the entrepreneurial mindset. We like to call it the entrepreneurial mindset, or the mindset of a CEO. In other words, when I work with brand new people, it's not that I don't enjoy it, but what I find that it takes so long to get them from, especially if they've never worked before, or maybe it takes so long to get that mind adjusted, that if we have a 6-month agreement, that we start getting results maybe at the end. And sometimes people feel that, well, they didn't get what they desired, and it's not that they didn't get what they desired, but I had to work on the mindset first, work on the personal growth first. And for me and my personality as I get older, I think I like to work with people who are grounded. Not that I won't work with someone who's brand new, because I have. One of my clients this year was, and it was a challenge, but we did it together. But I find that the ideal that I work with is people who have an idea of what they want, who have a business mindset, and we can move from there. We lay the foundation based on their mindset rather than going from scratch and getting them to think like a business owner first.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, interesting, because I like to deal with people that have been in business minimum of 1 to 3 years. And the reason for it is by then they've got over the honeymoon deal of I hung up my sign and they will come. And they start to realize that they need help and are willing to look and to listen. So I was just curious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much, Yvonne. Welcome, Lisa, by the way. And welcome, Anne. Anne hasn't got a video going. Gary, let's go to you because I know you've got a time frame against you. And first of all, welcome to your first one of our Zoom sessions on Friday. And I hope to see you more often, my man. And because this is your first session, I'm going to give you a bit of a discount, right? Because I'd like you to spend maybe just a minute talking about what the heck you do before you talk about your thankfulness. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's perfect, Peter. First of all, I'm delighted to be here. I'm a member of loads of groups, but when I first joined, I realized this is going to be quite a good one. So I couldn't make last week, so I'm delighted to be here. It seems a very, very friendly group. So just hi everyone, first of all. So just a little bit about myself. I know Mitali from another networking group. We seem to keep bumping into each other everywhere. And so a little bit about myself. I'm from London originally. I live in Ireland and I do all things websites. So I build them, I teach people how to build them, I make them appear higher up in Google, and I speed up slow websites. That's what I do. Been meaning to do it for years, and I kept putting on the long finger. Other things kept getting in the way. So I'm in my second year trading now, and I agree exactly what John is saying about the hanging up the sign, thinking people will come, because I had that syndrome as well. I also have a marketing background, like Yvonne, and even that was tricky. I just thought all I had to do was Facebook ads, get my website up, and I was up and running. But it's so much more than that. So so that's what I do. I like working with people that are either just starting off, because I've just been through those sort of challenges, and I like people that have vision as well. I think vision is probably the most important thing, because there are a lot of people that treat their website as something, as a tick box exercise. To me, it's your online salesman that works 24 hours a day, and a good website will pay for itself many times over. So my ideal client would be someone who can see that vision rather than looking at it just from a price perspective. So just to go back to the original question, I'm grateful for three things, actually. One, I got a new client this week, a promotional video for a global corporate company, which looked fantastic on my website. That's one win. The second win is my daughter had COVID-19, but she's fine now. She's 19, so they feel invincible at that age. So that was good. That was worrying when I first heard that. And the final thing that I'm happy for is I've started to run the last week. So I'm running every morning at 5 o'clock for about 10 minutes or so. And I've just found in those 5 days, my alertness is just off the scale. Beforehand, concentration was poor, but just 10 minutes a day makes a huge difference. And I don't like exercise. That's the funny thing about it, but it's so worth it just for those 10 minutes. I'm probably getting an extra hour's work or half an hour at least. So I'm buying time by exercising. So they're the three things I'm grateful for.
Thank you, Gary, but I'm not letting you off the hook that easy yet, all right? Because seeing it's your first session, I've got one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Share with us, what is your why? Why are you in business?
I'm in business to help smaller businesses grow. I see a lot of businesses that just struggle with the marketing. I believe that you can be the best kept secret in your industry, and there's a lot of people that are just hiding behind a keyboard, that are typing away on social media. They're not being visible. Mm-hmm. So what I like to do is trying to help people understand that. And I think during the whole COVID-19 thing, with Zoom becoming hugely popular, there's opportunities for everybody. So So yeah, my why is to get people to make themselves more visible. You know, personally, I think most businesses, the business owner is the business themselves, so they have to be more visible. So I like to do that through website design, marketing, whatever needs to be done, really.
Okay, thank you. And they were questions without notice, so I apologise, but I was just trying to get you to catch up because the others have had the chance to share that already, Gary. All right.
Okay, thanks,
previous
Peter, yeah.
Zoom sessions. And Patrick, I just want to forewarn you before we finish. I would really love you to share just one tugboat story. All right. Just one. I'll come back to you. Okay. Just put it there. I won't forget you because I want people to hear some of the. I mean, this guy's got some incredible stories, and some will make you cry, some will make you laugh. So have to think about it. Okay, Joy. Thank you very much, by the way, Gary. And if you have to leave whenever you can, I respect that, and I hope you come back and join us again next week. All right.
I will do. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Joy, good evening to you. And by the way, I know you won't mind me saying this. This is a strong battle for Joy. She hates being on these darn Zoom calls, right? She hates it with a passion. And so I take that as an absolute blessing that you've accepted the invitation to join me. So thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
But that's what true friends are all about, prepared to get outside their comfort zone because I requested her to join us. So,
Yes.
so what are you grateful for, Joy?
Oh, well, I'm grateful that I moved to this lovely city of Norwich in the UK. It's beautiful. I'm grateful that all my offline businesses have been able to continue throughout the lockdown. We've had a few bumps along the way. Most of my work is actually on offline business. We've had a few bumps along the way, but we've got through with strong family support because a lot of them are family businesses. So that's been great. And obviously the family are just wonderful. I'm so lucky to have amazing family support. Online, I'm great. Well, I suppose Peter's mentioned it really. It sort of forced me to get on camera because I've been meeting friends in lockdown as well. So actually, it's made me that I've got to do a few things on Zoom anyway. So that's been good. Lockdown also gave me extra time to focus on online businesses. So I'm looking to build an online business for when the offline, when I'm too old to do the, some of the offline businesses are actually going for very valid reasons. And I won't be that disappointed. So I've been looking for online businesses, but the extra time in lockdown has let me realise that it's actually okay. I was spreading myself too thinly, and it's okay that I don't have all these skills that people have, and I don't have to do everything. So, and I don't want to learn. I've accepted finally, I don't want to learn all the technical bits. And so I've been happy to find that I've been able to find businesses where most of the promotion is done for me. I don't have to do videos, yay. And I found programs where there's a lot of that's done for me, and also they've got passive options because I've got to the age I never did think I would want to retire, but all my friends are retired, and suddenly I'm looking around and thinking, well, actually, perhaps this retirement business, I'm not going to hang up my boots completely, but it would be nice not to work 16 hours a day.
How many? 16?
Yeah, 16. I try to be in front of the computer by 9. That doesn't always work.
Wow.
And it's 2 o'clock before I get to bed. So I've been spreading myself too thinly between the offline businesses and the online, and I thought, hey, I don't want this anymore. That there's
I wouldn't want it either.
No, but that's, I mean, it's just the way we've always been, that the family business has always been like that.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was 16 hours a day in his retail business, and
So it's hands-on, right?
Yeah, it's just how it's always been in our life, and it's just given me time to reflect and think, well, hey, I don't need to do that anymore. So I've found some businesses where I can put a little bit of the money that I've been lucky enough to earn offline into an online business rather than putting time in.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm grateful for, that I've dumped a few of the time-consuming efforts.
Well, I am grateful that you actually came on and shared those thoughts, because I think other people here would agree with me that you do not look like, and you didn't come across like someone who was scared out of their wits for coming on Zoom. Would you agree with me, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm saying I'm proud of you, Joy. Okay.
Thank you.
And no, everybody, I'm not her coach. I'm just a friend, right? But I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of having friends like Joy. Okay, that's one of the things I'm grateful for. But you come across really well, Joy. I'm just telling you, okay?
Yes.
Don't be so hard on yourself, all right?
Yeah,
Thank
well
you
done,
very
George.
much.
With a beautiful smile too, Joy.
How about that?
Thank you. Well, you've all made me feel very comfortable, and I'm glad I've done it.
Good.
You
'cause I
look
want you to
very
come back.
comfortable there, Joy.
Yeah, and I want you to come back. All right.
I will.
Just a little bit. Just jump outside the square, just a little bit. All right. Now, before Mitali, you're next, but before that, it's a commercial break. All right. Can you see this?
Oh, we can leave now.
Go away, Gary. Can you see that?
The next level, what? You need to move it up a bit.
Can you read it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's called Reputable, Reliable Resources. This is an ebook. This is the second edition of the ebook. There's some people here who are involved in the first and the second edition. What I'm saying is, in next month, early next month, I'm coming out with the third edition. And what it is another way for me to promote you and your business. I put a post in the group. You actually comment on the post that describes your business in a certain way. So I can't remember the words I'm going to use yet, but you do that, okay? And then at the same time, I will answer that question, and then you can add some more information. In the end of it, I will simply copy and paste what you give me and put the information into this document along with your photograph, okay? And your links, whatever links you want to give me. I don't mind, okay? There can be links to your website, to your affiliate offer, to your Facebook. I don't mind what it is. And this is then a document that I make available to everybody in the community. I also make it available to everybody on my personal profile, and I also make it available to everyone on my email list. So it's a way for you to get your business out there. It doesn't cost you anything, all right? So if you're interested, look for Reputable, Reliable Resources in the group right now. As an introduction to that, there is a link there you can find in one of the announcements that gives you the last copy, to the second edition, so you can get an idea what people did. All right. So, Gary, that was my commercial break, but it wasn't for me, really. It was all for you. Okay. So I mean, that's what it's all about in this group. So, reputable, reliable resources. Okay. And by the way, if you're in there, and some of you I know are already in there, you may wish to edit what you've got in there, update it, but by all means do that as well, okay? Once you give me all the information, then give me a week to sort out all the information, to put it together into an ebook, then get it uploaded into Google Drive so I can give you links, etc., etc. All right, so there you go. Mitali, you're next.
Hi guys, I'm grateful for I'm going to see if I can get her. It's really strange that she's actually sat next to me today, because normally whenever I'm on Zoom, she decides to leave, but she knows I was going to speak to you guys about her. So I'm grateful for this one. So this is Isha, and Isha has cancer. So this is the second time she's fighting cancer. So she had cancer back in 2018. She had 10 rounds of chemo and went into remission. So against all odds, the odds were against her, really. Most cats don't have any kind of non-aggressive cancer. All cancers are aggressive. So she went to remission for 18 months. She's now got cancer again, unfortunately. And I was beside myself last month because she had one round of chemo and she was so violently sick for 2 days that I questioned whether I was doing the right thing, whether I should just let her go, And do you want to go, baby? Was that enough exposure for you? It's enough exposure. Off you go. She needs to go. She's done what she needed to do. I think I spoke to Peter about this. Here in England, we've got the wonderful NHS. So if I had something like that, if I went to a consultant, an oncologist, he would have this whole world of information at his fingertips. He would know for my gender, for my age range, for my ethnicity, for so many things. He would have all these facts and figures about what is the best medication, what is the best treatment, all that kind of thing. No such thing like that exists for cats, okay? No one's done any big nationwide study or even worldwide study or regional study for cats. So you kind of just playing by ear. Even my vets can't really tell me is this working or that working. We're just kind of just thinking, let's just try and see what happens. And that just made me really uncomfortable when she was so sick for 2 days last month, whether I was doing the right thing in trying to prolong her life, and maybe I was actually torturing her now and I should just let her go. Anyway, she had chemotherapy last week, and as you can see, doesn't have a clue that she's got cancer. Very happy. And so that's just, I'm very grateful for that. It seems like we now can carry on with the rest of the chemotherapy because she seems to be coping with it. So I'm just grateful for that.
Anything else? From a business perspective, are you grateful?
From a business perspective, yeah, something that actually happened yesterday. So I was at a networking meeting yesterday, and I was speaking to a guy who I've got to know quite well over the last few weeks. And he's decided to do more background stuff for this networking group. And he's telling me all these tasks that you need to do. And I just said, gosh, that sounds like a lot of work. And he works really hard in his business already. And now he's going to take on all these extra tasks for this networking group. And it transpired the reason why I was doing that is because it costs £50 a month to be part of this networking group. But if he does all these background roles, then because he's part of the team now, he doesn't have to pay that £50 a month. And I made what I now realize was a flippant remark. I didn't mean it to be flippant. It just came out of my mouth. I went, oh, I can't be asked with, I'd rather just pay the 50 quid a month than do all of that work. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he just went quiet and he said, yeah, but that's £200 a month for me. And that's a lot of money. So if I can get all the networking opportunities and not have to pay that £200 a month, it's a big difference to him. And it just made me think, oh my gosh, thank God I am in that space where I can just go, keep your 50 quid a month. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather be able to watch a little bit of TV and not have to do those background roles, and you just take the money. And it just made me grateful that, I'm in that position, because I forget that there's people who are really, really struggling this year. And because me and my family are okay and we're all individually doing okay, it's easy to forget that there's people where £50 a week is a lot of money for them. And if they don't have to spend that can make a big difference to them. So yeah, I think what I'm saying is not really a business thing, but I'm more grateful that I'm not the sort of woman who spends loads of money on shoes and clothes and things like that. I just have money sat in the bank, so I can spend on business stuff instead.
Thank you, Mitali, because it's very easy to take things for granted, isn't it, when you think about it?
Very easy, very easy.
And when you mentioned 50 quid a week, I just did some calculations here. that represents, just for your interest, 6 months earnings for on average for the people in my village. Right. Now, sure, the cost of living is not as expensive as where you are, but I can tell you things like internet connections and telephones and things, there's not much difference in price, right? So they struggle. So thank you very much, Mitali. I appreciate you as always. Sandy, I'm not sure where he's got to. He may come back. By the way, welcome, Stephen. Good to see you, my man. The next cab off the rank, Lisa Anna Palmer. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. Sorry I joined late, Peter. I'm a night owl, so 8 a.m. comes fast for me. But I love you. So here I am.
I love you too.
So I lots to be grateful for. I could go on. So I've just picked out some of the things. Grateful for all the lessons. It's been a tough year, not only with COVID, but thankfully I'm very grateful my loved ones have been able to be cautious and stay healthy. But all these lessons, breaking my leg a couple weeks before an arm, have strengthened my faith and my sense of gratitude. So, and related to that, I'm grateful that I've been working on my mindfulness for years so that I was able to stay the course, continue working because of the technology. So even while I was, I wasn't able to really walk or anything like that for about a month and a half, still able to continue to connect with people online. Very grateful for that and for the help of my family, my husband, my son, my whole family and friends. So I was able to see the humanity, despite these difficult times. And also from the client perspective, being able to connect with more people online, people around the world, friends like yourself and new friends that I've met. I'm grateful I healed quickly, despite the fact that it was pretty bad. Grateful that I was able to launch a book in the midst of all that. And grateful for the inspiration and opportunities that have come as a result, and also the resources. So I'm fortunate enough to live in Canada, and they really, all levels of government, regardless of the party, have decided that, we should be supported in terms of the small businesses. So I was able to get a lot of support to rebrand, digitize my business, all that coaching on different strategies, and all that was paid for. And so that I took that opportunity to incorporate Light Your Leadership Inc. this week, and to be able to now get ready, for 2021. I said I don't want to launch in 2020, so I said I'll wait till 2021. I'll stay with my own business in 2020 and just leave that there. And yeah, all the inspiration and ideas that have come, I think because of the times we're in, and like I said, I'm a night owl. That's when I get a lot of my inspiration. Unfortunately, it keeps me up, but it's good. And yeah, so for me, it's been one of those tough experiences that if we stop and are grateful for them, then we are able to, see the opportunities and the lessons, and also the strength and faith, I believe. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Very much indeed. Before I come to you, Stephen, when Yvonne was sharing her gratitude and thank yous, she actually mentioned something which may have gone over your head, and I want to bring it back to your attention. And with your permission, Yvonne, I hope you don't mind me saying this. But
please go ahead, Peter.
You mentioned the fact that the transition from client attraction to client retention, or worse to that effect, right? Which is very important, because there's so much focus on client attraction and attraction marketing, right? And there's not that much focus on, once you've got the client, keeping them, right? And not just keeping them, but growing them, and not just growing them, but building a relationship with them so they then can become an advocate of yours. And that, to me, is something that Yvonne is brilliant at. So I'm just pointing out that if you need to just chat about conceptually what this is all about, and Yvonne, you know, you didn't know I was going to say this. I mean, you know, but it just comes out, right? But I'd like you to reach out to Yvonne and ask her about her thoughts about if you have a challenge with some existing clients of how best to go about handling them. Do you mind me saying that, Yvonne?
Not at all, Peter. Please go ahead. I'm making notes too.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're the queen of customer service. I mean, I'm just saying it, and it's true. There is so much focus on attraction marketing, and there's not a high priority where it should be on looking after the people we got in the first place, okay? And doing even better for them than what we're doing right now, because in these uncertain times, there's going to be increasing pressure on you to keep your client base, right? So you have to take an extra effort, more than you've ever done before, in order to keep what you've got, let alone to grow your business. That's what I'm saying.
May I just quickly say something, Peter?
Most definitely.
Thank you. And interestingly enough, I will see if I can locate that article and share it in the group if I may. It's an article that Shep Hyken, who is one of the people that I really admire. He's a customer service and customer experience expert for many, many years. He wrote an article for Forbes magazine or Forbes.com, and he talked about the 10 areas of focus for customers this year. And it's all about, and he interviewed people, it's all about client retention. So all of us, we're business owners, well, most of us are business owners. Which would you prefer? The constant client chase, like on a hamster wheel, or nurturing the relationships with the clients you have so that, as Peter said, they become your advocates and your fans, and they become the people who share your message with others.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too proud to say this because there's people on this call who know this, but I have had the pleasure of having my clients refer me other people for my services, and that to me is the greatest blessing of all. I mean, it's something that's irreplaceable as far as I'm concerned, right? So yes, Yvonne, I am very, very enthusiastic about anybody reaching out to you, because you have the skills more than anyone else I know of to get people to that next level in terms of their customer retention. All right. So I know I didn't warn you I was going to say that, but you know me, I just say these things, right? But they come from my heart to yours, all right? Stephen. Okay.
Peter.
Before you start, Patrick, I haven't forgotten you. Don't forget, I want a good tugboat story, right? Don't go to sleep. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. Peter, I want to, hard to fit all this together, but let me make one point first on client retention, since the topic came up. You know, I think we're all involved in one way or another in that. And there's one little point that I share with my own clients when talking to them about client retention. We talk about the theory a lot about this stuff as coaches and guides and mentors and so on. We get into the theory, whatever it is, whether it's you know, some type of marketing or working with client attraction, inbound marketing, client retention. And I think the one thing that gets overlooked by a lot of coaches and guides when working with a client or clients on this is that all of the theory in the world about client retention doesn't work. It's not worth a damn unless you have something to offer that client that will retain them, that there's value there for them to hang around. It's a fairly simple principle, but it gets overlooked by so many. If you don't have a program that is ongoing, if you don't have some offering that draws those people to you over and over and over again that will retain them, then all of the theory about client retention doesn't work. That's the wonderful thing about you, Peter, is that you keep offering more and more to bring us back and your other clients back, because there's always something there and we always get something for it. I'm following Mitali right now on her series she's doing on content. You know, she's talking about how a particular piece of content, a book, can be used and broken out into so many bits and pieces over a period of time, and then rinse and repeat. You can start over and nobody remembers what you did in the first place, and so you keep offering it again. And that is exactly that thing, one thing of many possibilities that allows for client retention. And so I think that's an important point. Probably everybody here knows that, but maybe somebody listening to this in replay won't, and will, you know, the light will go off and they say, oh yeah, I'm doing all these things to try to get people to stay with me. I have to offer them something. So that's cool. Let me get on to gratitude. And I could say so much because there's so many things. I'm going to share a small story. My first daughter went off to university. She went to Queen's in Canada, a fine world-class university. And she was there first time away from home for a long time. And she was, you know, doing okay, struggling as, you know, young people do when they go off to college. And that was the year that Canada had this huge ice storm that swept across the central and eastern part of Canada. Canadians here, many of you will remember that. Really just a terrible, terrible ice storm. And she was actually locked in her apartment. She lived in an upstairs apartment, and the ice came down and the wind was blowing from the direction so that it coated that side of the house with like 3 inches of ice, and locked her door closed. She couldn't get out. And of course, this is you know, this is before cell phones and or the widespread of cell phones anyway. And she couldn't, the power lines went down and the phone lines went down, and she couldn't contact anybody. And she was just there. Fortunately, she had some food. And she was in there, and a police cruiser came by, and she tried to, they were checking neighborhoods, and she was trying to signal them, but of course the house was sheathed in ice, and, you know, waving out of windows didn't help at all. And a tree fell down, and her car was parked on the street. And as she was watching, trying to contact that police officer, a big tree fell down right on the cruiser and crushed it, right beside her car. And later, when things melted and she got out, she was meeting with a friend, and she was talking to the friend and saying, how lucky I've been, you know, wow, just how lucky. And the friend said, what do you mean you were locked in your house for over a week? You know, all this. And she said, well, yeah, but that tree could have fallen on my car. And that was great. And then the next week, after this being stuck, she went out with some friends to a Chinese restaurant, and she came down with food poisoning and ended up in the hospital for about 48 hours. And when she got out, she was talking to some friends, and she said, man, how lucky I've been. You know, I skirted that. It could have been far worse. And the person, what do you mean lucky? You're locked in your house in an ice storm for a week. You get food poisoning and you're calling yourself lucky. And I you know, it just, but that was the attitude. Now I'd had some effect on that. I had positive people around me. I have had since I was a teenager, and I learned about positivity and mindset, and that's worked for me. And I shared that with my kids, and it just, when I heard these stories, it just made me feel so good that I was able to share with my kids that they could go out into the world facing new things with that positive attitude. I am so grateful to the many people in my past, my mentors and coaches and teachers, that shared that with me, that I could embrace that and embody that. And I'm grateful for all of you when I meet with you in groups like this, or, you know, some of you individually, and we share a few words, the positivity that you bring into that experience. And it's such a great thing. Now, there was a third part of that story that I can't remember right now, but it was simply a reiteration of the first two. But it just shows you what's there. Peter, you and I have worked together for years. We're really in the same business. We really, you know, share many of the same target clients, the target audience. And yet, because we're both positive people, because we understand the power of that synergy, you know, we can work together as friends and colleagues rather than competitors. And most everybody here, I don't know all of you in you know, the kind of way that I know some of you, but I've seen what you do. And I know you share with that in that kind of thing, that it is better to work with people than to try to work against them. And there's just so much energy that comes from that. And in this tough year, and it has been a tough year, I have been so grateful for the people that have shared with me, the people that have helped with me. We didn't go out for, you know, for Thanksgiving for a family gathering. We've been very careful actually, we were, you know, stocking up with food and toilet paper. I've still got an unopened case of toilet paper. Anybody need? You know, we moved on this before the government moved on it. And then they never did really move on it, but we stocked up on food and things that we would need. And we've still got meat in the freezer that, you know, was there from before COVID was really public. And, you know, we've gone on, but we didn't go out for Thanksgiving. We only go out once, maybe every 2-3 weeks to buy some groceries. We choose a time when the store isn't busy. We wear masks, you know, that kind of thing. Generally, we hunker at home. So I'm very, very grateful that my business has allowed me. This is no big deal for me. I'm doing just what I did pre-COVID, working from home. My office is here in my home. My brick wall is here in the house. And so it's been so good to be able to carry on like that. I'm fortunate. You know, the word lucky is, a good friend of mine says, chance favors the prepared mind, quoting, I think that's, name escapes me right now, French scientist. But anyway, it isn't about luck, it's about being prepared. And so, you know, that comes along. So Thanksgiving dinner, we stayed home. We you know, we didn't have a turkey. We, you know, made something different. We did have ham, and it was a nice time to share. But relatives who did have a Thanksgiving together, it was only that group of relatives who had already suffered through COVID, and they felt they couldn't reinfect each other. So and then of course we don't know about that, but they felt it was fun, and small gathering got together, and it was just 5 people. But they had leftovers, and one of them dropped off a parcel on our doorstep. They rang the doorbell and left, and I came out and saw their car pulling out of the driveway and waved to them. And there was this box of turkey and ham loaf and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy and a few other things, green bean casserole and so on. And, you know, the things that we would normally get together with family and share. And, you know, that became our sort of evening, late night meal. And it was wonderful. Again, people sharing just a little bit, touching each other. And I am so grateful for that. It has happened throughout my life. I have been lucky. I have been alone a couple of times and had difficulties. I've been alone personally. I've been alone business-wise. And so I have the other side of the coin to compare. I remember once when I was without work and didn't have any opportunities or prospects. You know, the world was just crashing down. And that same daughter was quite young then, just starting school. And we were down to our last bag of Quaker Oats oatmeal in the cabinet. And it was our last of anything. And we were sitting there at supper time, and my daughter looked up at me from across the table and said, "Daddy, do we have to have porridge again?" And boy, did that motivate me. And I think about 45 days later, I was in a management position, a senior position with Motorola Corporation. And I had no on-paper qualifications to have that job, but I went out and got it. And, you know, my wife saw an advertisement in the paper, a big new plant in Brampton. I think it's now Spar Aerospace that occupies it, because Motorola has been sold and broken up with Google. And but I occupied that position, and I was, you know, in a very, very good corporate position. And boy, we didn't eat oatmeal very much after that. So I, you know, the motivation for me to do that came by digging deep and finding the support. And in that particular case, the support people weren't there, but the support they had left me with, the knowledge and the feeling and the attitude that they had left me allowed me to pick up my pieces and stop feeling sorry for myself and get out there and do something. And so I went and sold myself to that company. I made it that they had to offer me the job because they couldn't get anybody else better. And you guys do that every day when you work with a client. You give them something that they can take with them into their future. Next day, next week, next month, next year. And so as we go ahead, all of us, we have that internal gratitude that we carry with us to share with our clients and to exemplify with each of us and motivate and buoy up the spirits of all of us. These sessions, Peter, I am so grateful for you. These sessions are so wonderful, and I hope that everybody here and everybody who hears this, my voice at some point in a replay, understands how powerful these sessions really are. Even when sometimes our emotions have us just kind of gliding through them, you gotta think later about how things come back to you and how they pay off. And this small group is laying the foundations for 2021 and beyond in their own lives and in all of our lives. Thank you, everyone, for what you've shared and done.
Thank you, Stephen. You ever thought about going into politics?
I did once. I did.
Anyone
as you know,
can get
Peter,
what you got from a bowl of oatmeal. I mean, that's pretty darn special, right?
I thought the story about the about your brick wall was amazing, but what you just did there, that's I'm going to have to replay this. This was amazing. Great session. Thanks, Steve.
By the way,
Thank you.
By the way, Fred, we know about his brick wall, but you don't because you weren't here last week. But I'm not going to.
I know I was. I know about his brick wall.
Oh yeah, okay.
I heard the story. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I got one too.
I think Patrick hasn't seen it, maybe, but we'll keep him guessing for a while.
Yeah. And the other thing is, everybody, Steve, you won't mind me saying this, but Steve and I don't have any business relationship at all. Okay. We share a similar philosophy in life, and that is to continue to surround ourselves with people who can do things better than you can, so you can continue to learn. And Stephen was one of those people in my case, okay, because he's got expertise in levels that I will never be able to attain, ever. And I'm happy to get to know him for that purpose. Does that make? And I can tell you, if you reach out to people and don't have in your mind, I wonder whether Mitali will be a client of mine, or I wonder whether Yvonne Jones would be happy for me to coach her, or whatever it is. If you have that sort of thinking in mind, then you're killing yourself, okay? If instead you reached out to, for example, Lisa Anna Palmer or Joy Healy or Stephen Henry, right? Simply because you admire them for who they are, right? And you'd like to get to know them more and share that with them in a message saying, can we talk? There is absolutely no strings attached on it. I like to learn from people like you. You will be amazed what doors open for you. I can tell you, you will be amazed if you think that way. Now, I know I'm probably preaching to the converted, but I've been saying this for years now in my Facebook Lives, but many people never do it, ever do it, right? It's an opportunity that's looking at you right in the face. Anybody who is doing, and Steve and I do the same things for probably the same type of client. But that doesn't mean we can't share with each other. That doesn't mean we can't learn off each other, which we do, Stephen, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's so wonderful, you know, not having a financial interest or a financial desire in a relationship, in simply having the relationship for relationship purposes and sharing what you can, and I pick every time, Peter, every time I am on one of, watching one of your lives, and many times it's in replay because my time schedule is very different. I was late today because I had things that I had to do first this morning, and it's early here. And so, but being able to get there and spend some time, I mean, I'm drawing energy from the screen right now, from each of the faces that is here. And it is so powerful. And Patrick, I'm surprised to see you here. I didn't know there was a connection. And Patrick and I go back a ways, sharing a few things from time to time, and exchanging ideas and things, just small and fleeting. But I recognize Patrick, someone new to this particular group that I've been in. I don't know if you were here before, Patrick, but being able to see that familiar face again, and having not been in touch with Patrick over the past weeks, boom, there's just that connection back again. It's like, it's like school friends that you grow up together in school, and then you go your separate ways, and you get married, you're gone, you're away from each other for maybe years. And then you happen to cross and you stop and have a coffee, and it's like you never left. You just pick it up again. And when you develop those kind of relationships where you can just pick it up again, or you can keep a continuity there, it's absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. And you can't buy that, Peter. You can't, it doesn't matter how rich you are, you can't go out and buy that. Bill Gates cannot buy that kind of relationship that we, as each individual in this group, have as a group, as a pair. It's phenomenal.
You're
Sorry,
right.
I could go on.
No,
I could go on
no,
forever.
please. And the other thing, this group is deliberately small, but I mean, I want to grow it, but I mean, I haven't really gone out to try and promote it as much as I can. But within this group, even though it's only small, okay, not even 200 people in this group, there are some incredible resources in this group that I don't think people really appreciate because they haven't reached out to discover it. That's really my message, okay? And it doesn't matter how set you are in your business right now. It doesn't matter whether you've got a huge challenge right now. The very fact that you reach out to Patrick Kern, Mr. Tugboat Captain White, for example, to talk with him, okay? For example, without having any preconceived ideas, you have no idea what doors may open because you don't know who Patrick knows. Even if Patrick may not be a client of yours. And you know what you're going to learn from Patrick, because I can tell you, I've learned a lot from Patrick, okay? Because he's inspirational bugger. You really are, Patrick. And that to me is pretty darn special. Now, I'm going to come to you soon. I wish I had your chair, by the way. Anyway, I'll come back to you, Patrick. Don't go, okay? Sandy, nice to see you, my man. Don't make me cry tonight, okay? Don't make me cry again tonight. I mean, for those who don't,
I had some, sorry, I had some technical problems. I couldn't get on live. Tried my phone and I did get on, but I wanted to get on my PC. Anyway, I know you got an agenda here, so I don't know who's up next.
You are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, what am I grateful for? Well, I've had the quadruple bypass thing. I've had the ruptured appendix thing. I've had the what do they call it? The white light experience as well. So I understand what you're talking about when you talk about the appreciation for just being alive. So certainly that makes sense. I'm very grateful for that. But I'm also very grateful for what I like to think of as failure. And then figuring it out and solving the problem. Because like just here happened, I had problems with the getting on this live today. And I tell you, just struggling through it, but getting the end results and getting back with the group here, because I really appreciate this group, just like it's already been said. But again, there's just so many things to be grateful for. And I think we probably are, because of our maturity, we already recognize that. But I think that's really would be my summary of it right now.
Sandy, let me just push you a little bit. Do you mind?
Yeah, sure. Go
Because
ahead.
you're a man of vast experience. I mean, and in fact, you're older than me. So I think it's really good to have you on board, right? Because I'm not the oldest, right? Tell me, I didn't mean that to be rude, by the way.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, in the year 2020, which has been troubling for many people, it's destroyed many people's businesses, etc. But from a business perspective, is there something, just one thing you're grateful for from a business perspective from this year?
I think I'm grateful for, I mean, I just help people start an online business. That's what I do. But I'm grateful for connecting with those people from all over the world. Just before I got on here, I was in Afghanistan talking with a gentleman. Not the money motivation part of it for me at all. It's the actually seeing people make a mindset change and actually start really making some progress. So yeah, it's I think it's the people that make the world go round for me.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you too. Okay, now to finish with, and thank you for hanging in, everybody. I know everybody's got a really busy agenda, and I appreciate you sharing your time with each of us. I'd just like to finish with you, Captain Patrick. All right. Share me one story. Share one story with the group. I mean, I've got some going around in my head here, especially about.
I will give a little bit of background of me. I've been going to sea since I was 17 years old. And I retired when I was 62. So all that time I've been out in the middle of the ocean. And I want to thank you, all of you, for letting me share this little story. And thank you, Stephen, very much for your kind words. Anyway, there's a lot of them, but this one particular one always stuck in my mind is that we're off of a foggy cape. We're in the Alaska waters at this particular time. If you look at the map, you got Foggy Cape. We're about 40 miles, 50 miles south of Chillicothe. And on the right-hand side, on the starboard side will be Kodiak Island. On the port side will be the mainland of Alaska. I was getting up on watch. I had the 12 to 6 watch. I always get up at 11, get a little bit to eat, have my coffee, wash my eyes, get awake because I had to be alert. As I walked up into the wheelhouse, I glanced over to the port side. I said, I told the captain, I said, what? I was chief mate. I said, what in the hell is that? He looked over and, oh crap. What it was a rogue wave.
A rogue wave.
God.
Whoa. A rogue wave. And it took the tug over on its side. Then we came back. We went, damn, that was a big one.
Oh my God.
We kept on trucking.
Did anyone fall overboard?
No. It took everybody out of their bunks.
God. Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Thank
I
you.
got more. If you want to learn more, I go on Facebook Live.
I'm going to ask you every session we have for another story. Okay. If other people don't mind. One of these days, Patrick,
you should write a book.
I know, but you should write a book. Go and talk to Mitali, right? The other thing you should do is this. One of these days, share the story if you really feel strong enough to do it, because it's pretty heart-wrenching about the guy over the side of the boat. Remember?
Yeah.
Not now. I mean, I've had the privilege of listening to this and just blew me apart. Anyway. So, and the reason, by the way, I'm asking Patrick to share that story is because storytelling is an integral part of your business. That's all I'm saying to you, right? And if you can grab those stories and then turn them into a way to build your relationships or to improve your client retention, when you're talking in Yvonne Jones's case, for example, then it's something that is very special. And that's another session I'll run with you in the future about stories, but not just now. So now I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you,
One,
Peter,
for being friends of mine. I don't take that lightly. Secondly, for sharing with each other. And thirdly, for joining me tonight or today or this morning or whatever it is your time. Okay.
Peter, we didn't get yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
What am I grateful for?
Yes.
In business. And
In
end of
business,
the last 12
for my
months.
business. Okay, no, I didn't expect that it'd be asked this question. All right.
Got him.
Okay.
Fair is fair.
I'm grateful from a business perspective to be working with the people I'm working with. Okay. I mean, they are part of my coaching family. I mean, I can't coach from a distance. It's impossible for me to do that. And there's some people here who know that, who've been involved with me from a coaching thing. I get close. Okay. I'm like a big brother or an uncle or a grandfather, whatever you want to, whichever way you want to feel about it, right? Because it's more than a role to me. Okay. It's a passion. Okay. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to have that passion with such wonderful people. Plus the fact I can combine that passion to help the children in my village. Okay. That is something that, I mean, I'm feeling emotional even thinking about it, but that really is special for me. That's one thing I'm very grateful for. The second thing I'm grateful for is the fact that I'm here. Okay. Because I can tell you on the 28th of December, 2019, things didn't look too good. In the intensive care ward, I didn't realize how sick I was. And some people here know this. Okay. I don't want to extend that story except the fact that I'm grateful to my heart specialist for hitting me on the head, not physically, but psychologically, saying, we need you, Peter, get that head of yours going because we need you to help. Da, 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 da. So I'm grateful for that she showed me how to find my strength that I'd lost because I was sicker than I thought. Okay. And the third thing I'm grateful for is the opportunity every single day to meet new people who stretch me, who really challenge me. Okay. And I know there's one person here, and her name is Yvonne. She knows a person who meets with me on a regular basis, and he blows me out of the water. He literally blows me out of the water. He extends me so much, right? That at the end of the session, I'm thinking, I'm sort of emotionally and physically drained, right? But at the same time, so bloody grateful for the fact he's sharing his time with me to not just kick me in the butt, but to make me see that in this short time we have on this earth, there is so much more you can achieve. Okay. They're my three things. All right.
I'm glad I asked the question.
Thanks, Fred. All righty. See you this time next week. And Mitali, thank you very much for changing your Facebook live times. That is pretty special for me. Little things are very important to me. So thank you.
No, I have. I've done it permanently. It's always going to go at 12:30 p.m. GMT now. So.
Okay. Okay. Don't forget, next week, I'll be doing a promotion on this. Okay. Reputable, reliable resources. If you haven't got a chance to get into it, do that. Okay. And it's my pleasure to promote you again in some other way possible, because that's the whole purpose of this, for me to help you get yourself to the next level. All right. Bye
Have
for
a good
now.
day, everyone. Good weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Many
Thank you.
blessings to
Everyone.
Thailand. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Blessings.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.